Good morning, everybody. It's your boy TK from Rotlot Media. It's a perfect morning to get some priming done before it hits over 100 degrees here. Yeah, and just like I said, today's the 4th of July. God bless America, all that nonsense. Even to my non-US people, I always extend the hand of freedom. I always ask, what the hell's a kilometer? Nah, it's all good. I just want to come hang out with you guys, talk for a little bit. I always enjoy coming outside and just having these little, just yapping talks with you guys. Always like to show off what the missus is working on. Currently, we got some sunflowers that we're working on. We got corn over there. Everything's a little bit dehydrated because of all the heat and everything. It's getting to like 100 plus degrees in our area. Give or take. But yeah, I got the demon prince with wings. I got my little setup. Some of you are probably still shaking your heads, being like, "What the hell is he up to?" Yeah, but I wanted to get some of this done. Baby sleeping. I got a nice little Zevia over there. If you guys haven't ever given that one a try, it's a little bit sweeter than what a lot of people suspect it to be, but I really enjoy it. It helps me curb some of my soda intake, especially with sugar. And yeah, I got some stuff that I gotta prime up. I got got the demon wings right there. Got some of the tails, got some of the swords, the axes. I got the models right here and everything. Even got the little bases. They're pretty cool. Gonna wear gloves just so I don't get myself, primer on them. But yeah, it's a pretty little neat base. It's gonna be on a 60 millimeter. Set this right on top of it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make them as Night Lords-y theme as I can. Really cool things with these is they have these like chains on like the back of the wings. And I think that's going to be really nice because I'm going to try to make like the skin pale with a little bit of like the Vulpes pink. And with the chains, the engine kind of design. I'm probably going to use a little bit of the Turbo Dork that I got. I got this really nice blue that I think is really going to help it pop out. And yeah, each one of the Demon Princes, I think I'm going to give one of them double swords and one of them double axes. Obviously, with the way I'm running them, I'm going to give them marks of Slanesh. I don't got any magnets to really make it too crazy, but, one day I'll be able to interchange stuff and, make stuff a little bit more, fancy. But yeah, I just wanted to come yap with you guys. What have you been up to? Tell me in the comments and everything. It's, genuinely, like, I like talking to you guys, even if any of you are, telling me that, my models look like shit. Thank you for that. I'm always up for some criticism. But nah, I'm having an absolute blast working on this Night Lord's army and everything. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And just, I want to hear what you guys are up to. What are your plans for today? Because I think me, the missus, and the baby, I think we're going to skip the 4th of July stuff this year. Just because it's going to be super hot out. I don't know if the baby's going to want to do well outside in the heat. Sorry, I'm, got my little rattle can. I like to use Rust-Oleum. Yeah, it is a primer that sticks and has no problem. I think I'm almost out of this can, so sorry if you hear like me rattling it in the background. Here, let me just pause right quick and then I'll get right back to it. Alright, after some quick rattling, yeah, I'm slowly learning how to edit properly and pausing my videos and everything. But yeah, tell me what you guys are up to. I'm just over here priming. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need some. Oh no, I must be running low. Yeah, try to get what I can with this can before it runs out. Don't mind me. I got shitty technique. But yeah, like I said, me and the missus were probably just gonna, skip the 4th of July. Especially going out like the outing, like to the little areas where they hold the fireworks and everything. I think it's just too much for us this year. We got the baby and everything, and I don't think he's gonna do well in the heat because we got like a little fan and everything. to just, like, keep them cool, but I don't think that's going to be able to do the job for too long. Because, you know, fireworks don't start till, like, 10 o'clock at night where we live. But yeah, no, it's still pretty dope. Oh, yeah, I'm going to need a new can soon. Yeah, any of you going to be drinking? Any of you going to be playing with the lads? I did think about going to my local gaming store, but, you know, like I said, I'm going to hang out with my family and everything. But, yeah, I think today's going to be real good. Yeah, I knew I should have gotten some more of this while I was out and about at, like, Walmart or something. Nice, clean little strokes. Probably have to go fix this all in a moment. Yeah, chef iron's looking pretty good. Not really missing any spots that I can see off the top of my eyes. Yeah, let this dry. Let me yap at you guys some more. Taking that swig of my Xavier. But yeah, you know, as much as I have fun with, like, editing the videos and, you know, trying to make this look a lot more appeasing in your eyes, you know, I enjoy these little, just, yeah, don't mind me just in my socks and everything. But yeah, I just like sitting here yapping with you guys, just hearing how your day's going. What models are you working on? Is there anything for, like, 11th edition for Warhammer you're excited about? Anything for Kill Team? You know, if you have a hobby, you know, if you want to talk about, like, Battletech or, you know, whatever kind of hobbies, like, you know, maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I'll get into it. You know, Magic the Gathering with Commander, if you're into that. Or, you know, if you're into board games, you know, are there any that you're interested in? Because it's a lot of fun. I think everybody should pick up a hobby. You know, this way it can just help you out. It really helps you sit down, process things, and just, you know, because some days, like, I wake up and I'm like, oh no, it's the end. I'm wasting my life. I'm doing nothing with it. And then, you know, I look at my family and then I look at everything that I've accomplished. I'm like, oh, you know what? Life's good. Life's good. You know, hopefully some of you, if you are going through some difficult times, you know, reach out, friends, family, you know, get professional help. You know, it's really important. You know, I know a lot of us are like, you know, we have people we can go talk to and communicate with, but, you know, sometimes hobbying can be pretty lonely, and there's just sometimes where you're like, man, I really wish I had a friend to talk to. And, you know, I won't be able to be exactly that for you, especially with the parasocial and everything. But sometimes if you just need the yap or you just want to talk in the comments, you know, if I'm there, I'm probably going to respond in one way or another. And half of it's just, you know, reaching out. And I think if there's any of you that are struggling with anything, you know, reach out to some kind of resource that you can get to, you know, with it being the 4th of July and everything, and, you know, it's a time to get together, to be with friends, family, and loved ones, and all sorts of things. You know, go to a cookout, you know, go to your local gaming store if you have one nearby. Shoot, even if you just get on Discord or if you get on Steam and you just find some co-op games, you know, there's plenty of ways to just seek that companionship. You know, I'm just sitting here yapping about some bullshit, and you guys are probably rolling your eyes if you haven't already clicked off of the video, but, you know, I try to genuinely be a good person, you know, in my own little way, just trying to, you know, keep things chill, because, you know, I don't want to over-worry stuff. Like, I grew up with the, you know, I won't say I grew up too hard or anything, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff where, like, you know, I grew up, like, neglected. You know, everything was still fine, but, you know, like, you know, family didn't want to hang out with you. You just, you know, it's 3 a.m., that special time where you can just keep to yourself because nobody's going to bother you. You know, I'm very happy that over time I was able to work through that. And now, you know, like I said, you know, once a month I go to my narrative games for Fallout Factions, you know, on a drop of a dime, as long as the missus agrees to it. Like, I could go play Warhammer right now, pick up my Tyranids, go play. Crusher Stampede, yeah. And yeah, you know, I don't know. Maybe this is like a form of therapy for me as well, just by yapping with you guys. Maybe some of you can relate to it. Maybe some of you can have some suggestions. I don't think there's anything like wrong with me, but sometimes it's just nice to have just a nice little perspective change. Go through everything, check on everything. And I do always enjoy. Don't mind me. Try to make sure I get whatever I can with this last bit of the can. But yeah, like I said, reach out, have some fun, meet new people, even if it's something you're not comfortable with, go out, go meet people. There's always something where if you're interested in, you can probably find it nearby you. If not, that's what the internet's here for. You will find somebody with that has similar interest in everything. Well, yeah. And I've learned that silence is a good thing. You don't have to constantly have something in your ear. Sometimes you can just sit there and just enjoy yourself. And growing up and everything, finally happy that I can enjoy that silence and not be worried. But enough about that. Most of you are here for probably the miniature stuff. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, so once again, I have my 2 demon wing princes, or what's that? Heretic demon wing, wing princes. Oh, whatever. They're the demon wing princes. That's all. That's what everybody calls them. I keep forgetting their new name because I'm still learning Chaos Space Marines and everything. And like I said, I'm giving them the Marks of Slaanesh, so they have 2 inches to their movement. And because they can fly, they're going to be able to go over terrain, go over models. And the neat things about these guys is if they fly over a unit, they can make it to a battle shock test. And typically, because I only have a 14-inch move, by the time I move over something, it's going to be within 12 inches of a Heretic Astartes, which is what, this faction is a Heretic Astartes faction. So they're going to have to do a battle shock, and I think at a -1, because they're within 12. So that's going to be even sweeter. I think I'm also giving them the enhancements. One of them is Dread Eater, where at the beginning of my command phase, for every battle shock unit my opponent controls, I improved my roll by 1. And on a 5+, I can gain a CP. So if they have like 3 units that are battle shock, then it's now a 2+ roll. So my entire goal is to run over my opponents, battle shock them, make it so they can't score objectives, can't use stratagems, and really just make their lives miserable. I am kind of surprised that these models, the Demon Princes, they don't have unique weaponry, or they do have a unique weapon, but, like, you can't swap them out. So it is kind of weird, and I'm not too surprised by that. GW will give everything to Space Marines, but then, completely forget about the other ones. And yeah. That's kind of my goal with these units. The only things that I'm missing still is I need a group of cultists, the Firebrand, because the Firebrand will inflict battle shock, and it's going to be grouped up with the cultists. I need the Defiler. I want the Defiler just because, 1, it's a cool-ass model. 2, it's just such a good just tank killer, heavy killer. It's just so good. It's just so strong. I enjoy the fuck out of it. Hoping to get 1. I won't be those people that have like 3 of them, because it's with the point increase of being 300 plus the additional war gear cost. It's insane. Yeah, because I got those 3 that I need to get. I need to get 2 groups of 6 Noise Marines, and then the Forge Fiend. So yeah, I think I got like half my list already, so that's pretty dope. Super excited. I don't know which tournaments I'm going to be able to go to. I'm definitely going to play pickup games and tell you guys about them and how they went. But the tournament, though, because I'm using proxies, I have to be like careful with what I bring / what they allow. Nothing's like egregious, and as much as I love Warhammer, like everybody agrees, like the price is kind of crazy sometimes. And, you know, it's like, you know, I think like $65 for a group of 6, you know, noise marines. And it's like, cool, it's $120 right there. But I could find proxies for like $40 in total, you know. I want to support the hobby, and I do. I pick up models here and there. But just sometimes it's just crazy. You know, if you have any opinions on proxies, you know, do you proxy? Do you allow proxies in your games? Do you have a 3D printer that your boy TK could borrow? Oh, yeah. But, yeah, just, I just love yapping with you guys. You know, hopefully some of you, if you're listening, you know, even if you're not here for the entertainment, maybe you're just, you know, maybe you just need some noise in your background, you know, and hopefully I can be that for you, because I love yapping. Yeah, I think today's going to be a good day. I'm going to paint up my lads. You know, I'm actually going to properly, you know, thin down my paints, hopefully. Make it look like I do have some idea what I'm doing. Used to, I would put the entire model together, then prime it, and then have to paint it. And, like, these wings, dude, they are fucking ginormous compared, like, so fucking big. But, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I've yapped a good enough time. I've yapped, sorry. Thank you all for watching, especially when it comes to me stuttering, because I have a pretty bad stutter. I have to, like, close my eyes and, like, imagine the next couple words to help me, you know, complete my sentences sometimes. And yeah, I think, you know, I'll cut off the video here. I appreciate you guys for sticking around, especially if you got to this part of the video. You know, you guys are amazing. You know, thank you for the subscribers. Ugh. I got 23 of you so far, and I appreciate all of you, and even those of you who don't subscribe, you just watch the video, like the video, or you just, you know, walk past it, give it a little eye, and then you walk away. You know, no harm, no foul. Yeah, but I do have to give you the pleasantries as well. You know, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, let me know how you feel about these videos. Like I said, I have fun with them. You know, I don't expect them to do big numbers, but for some of you that, you know, need a little bit more interactions in your life, maybe this could be it for you. All right. You know, this is another hobby talk with your boy TK. I'm going to finish these up, you know, you know, because they do take some time to dry, because it's still not hot enough out here to finish them up all the way. But yeah, have a good day. I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you guys in the 4th of July. Bye.